Hello there. Oh, dreamer, mine. Tonight's a bit different. Tonight, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. It's going to be about 1/4 as complete as I'd like it to be, but it will give you recent context, not the whole thing. For more of what's been happening to me this past year, you can look back at previous videos where I've used this setting, this world, this place of contemplation and respite. Now, there are topics I'm going to cover tonight that may be somewhat uncomfortable for a number of you listening, and I am presenting them here in a journalistic fashion. These are things I witnessed, things that happened to me and to those around me. And I want you to know that it's okay to simply click away. Go somewhere else if you need to. That's fine. I'll let you know before we get into that, but you might be in a state of relaxation before we get there, because I do want to ensure that you are relaxed, that you are able to handle the topics we're going to delve into in a way that is healthy, safe, and secure. And you might find that going into a trance state where you take in information and you process it with your unconscious mind so that it is made sanitary for you is a good way to deal with such topics. There will be no details that are graphic or otherwise untoward. However, it will be uncomfortable if you've, like I, have suffered abuse in the past. Now, shall we begin? First, I want to get you into a nice state of relaxation. And I know this is strange. I know this is odd. And I will explain more about all of this in a bit. And you might be hearing sounds now in the video, the background, outside, elsewhere. These are signs of life occurring, and you don't need to pay attention to them. You don't need to pay attention to anything except my voice and what I'm saying to you right now. Because what I'm speaking is something simple, something easy, something that can allow you to drop down deeper and deeper into your mind, into a place of letting go, of relaxing, of allowing for your unconscious to understand what is being said and to make it safe for you, because I hope to create a space of safety and security. And all you need to do is breathe. All you need to do is let go of any tension you notice, perhaps in your feet. Perhaps you can feel your feet grow heavier, and I wonder if that heaviness, that sense of relaxation, can move upwards from your feet into your ankles growing heavy, and so too to your thighs, that sense of warmth, of heaviness, of relaxation, making your legs feel so very heavy, making you feel so relaxed. And as you relax further and breathe deep, you find that listening becomes easier, automatic, to just listen and do as you are told. And I wonder if the sense of relaxation that you feel can move upwards into your belly, into your chest and your back, And if there, perhaps you might find a growing sense of warmth and peace and letting go as this heaviness takes hold, as this relaxation takes hold. Each breath drawing in more and more relaxation and letting out all your worries and concerns and thoughts. Letting your thoughts go with each exhale and drawing in relaxation with each inhale. Good. And that rhythm is an old thing. It carries with it millions of years of evolutionary wonder. It's baked into you, this very notion of relaxation through breathing, through listening and entrainment. It is something so deep, something so simple, and yet so ancient in the way that it takes you down deep and allows you to drop for me deep and sleep. Good. And as that sense of relaxation works its way down your arms and into your hands, you can feel yourself letting go more of your mind, of your body, of your cares, because right now it's an easy thing to do, to relax, to let go. And perhaps you can feel that relaxation move deeply into your shoulders, into your neck, letting go and relaxing as you drop for me deep and sleep. Good. Going down further, deeper, into a place where your unconscious begins to listen closely, begins to understand precisely what it needs to and discard the rest, because you don't need every little bit of conscious processing right now. What you need is to release your tension, the tension in your neck and your shoulders, the tension that is somehow, some way in your face. The small muscles of your face can just let go, and you wonder perhaps how that tension even got there. But it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is relaxing, feeling the warmth, the sensation of heaviness, of letting go as it enters your mind now. Your whole body so relaxed, all of your muscles loose as you let go, as you drop for me. Good. Deeper and deeper down into a restful state of peace, understanding that your unconscious can process everything that I say, that you will be kept safe, that you will be able to process what is said in a way that makes sense to you. Now, as you go deeper and as you relax, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about why I'm holding my microphone with my hand, why I don't seem to have hands at all right now. If you were watching the screen, if you weren't simply letting those eyes of yours grow heavy and close, would you look at that? There's certainly some jank to work out here, and as you listen to me, you find that no matter what I say, all the words I say can simply help you relax, can make you drop for me, just for now, into that place of understanding and safety, where all the things that I say, you discard what you don't need, and you understand the parts that you do. simple thing. It's a state of flow of trance that you've been in before, whether you realize it or not, because being in trance and understanding what you need to do next are the same things. So relax and listen, and you might hear noises in the background of the video or within the space around you, and in my particular case, it's because of the situation that I'm in. I am recording this in a I suppose we should start with the beginning. It started a long time ago, relatively speaking. Before I left the States, even, the plan was to head to New Zealand to be with someone that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And that didn't pan out. But I got to experience New Zealand for a few months, and it was a bit tumultuous at times. I never really got to enjoy my time here. Besides the small moments, the little things, the tiny adventures. This led to me eventually making my way to Australia, where the misfortune continued until somehow, someway, it didn't, or at least things turned around for more or less the better, thanks to the people around me, my life, all of our lives, I think, are best defined by the people we keep in it, and importantly, the people we don't. And so I had hopes that my trip back to New Zealand to reclaim things, to heal fully and completely, would be something beautiful. Honestly, I wanted it to be a chapter that I could close to this entire story of this particular time in my life, and it was shaping up to be that, and I believe it still is. I'm seeing parallels, mirrors to the first time that I was here, and that's not a good thing. But things are looking up. The situation that I'm in has been almost resolved. To give you a little bit of an idea, I had planned to stay out in the suburbs of Wellington, not in Wellington proper, but out in one of the surrounding villages, the surrounding suburbs. I had picked a place on Airbnb based on recommendations and reviews, and it seemed like a good fit, honestly. However, there was a bit of a hiccup, to say the least. This is the part that gets a little heavy, and so I'd understand if now your unconscious would like you to simply turn off this video and go to sleep, or keep listening. It's entirely up to you. It's entirely your choice, whether you wish to simply listen or simply wake up just enough to turn off this video and sleep before I continue, and you can choose. Your unconscious can choose for you. I'll wait. Good. So, there was an undisclosed flatmate. The listing certainly suggested that guests might be staying there, but they didn't say anything about anyone else running the house besides the host. But that's precisely what was happening. The relationship between the host and their flatmate was not entirely clear to me, but the host seemed like a different person when the flatmate, the housemate, was in the room with him. The host was lovely. The housemate didn't seem to want me there. This was the vibe I got from the way he looked at me, the way that he didn't speak to me, and the way that he reacted when I was around. Now, the concerning part for me happened the weekend after I arrived. I had gotten set up. Things were a bit awkward, but I thought that we could work through whatever gaps in communication there were. Unfortunately, he invited over a girl, and the walls were very thin, so it was clear what was happening between the two of them. One night after she stayed, I heard arguing, which led to other things. And I won't go into those other things, but as I said, the walls were thin. And I knew I had to leave. I was holed up in my room that night with the lights on, the doors locked, contacting everyone that I thought could help. I was shaking, afraid. And the host wasn't home. It was just me. And when I had come in, I was clearly interrupting something. I managed to sleep that night, barely, for a few hours because my body finally gave out. And the next day I packed. And I left. And I told them that it was a family emergency because I did not feel safe. There was some arguing about whether it actually was. He was suspicious of me. Not the host, the housemate. The host was very reasonable, very understanding. I ended up in a hotel that I had booked very hastily the night that all of this happened. I knew that I would be able to get a new place fairly quickly. I was wrong. I had to extend my stay, not in the hotel I hastily booked, because although the prices were reasonable, they were more than I could find elsewhere, and elsewhere had acceptable accommodations. I am in elsewhere right now, and so while elsewhere might be a bit noisier because it's more in the city and less insulated in a number of ways, it's been a bit of a trip down memory lane. There's many locations and areas that I've seen, places that in a different reality, in a different life, I would have been living in still to this day, more than likely. And yet, instead of bringing a sense of regret, it felt like nostalgia. It felt like things that could have been, but weren't mine, if that makes sense. Honestly, it's for the best, for a number of reasons. But yes, that's what led me to the place I'm in now. And I'm so thankful that I've had so many people willing to help, willing to reach out. Even though it was difficult to find a place willing to take me in on such short notice for an extended period of time, eventually I did come across a couple owners of a place that they were renting, and though their Airbnb was booked, they had openings in the room, and so I went to visit today, and in an event that mirrors what I experienced the first time that I was in Wellington, and I had gone to a flat viewing then as well with my then fiance. This was a much more personable and honest experience. I did not feel pressured. If anything, it seemed like they wanted to be sure that I was okay, given what I had just been through, and given the struggle that I was having to find a place that was safe and tranquil and secure. They went above and beyond for me, to help me, to ensure that I was safe, and I am so thankful for that. Beyond words. And I wonder why it's so hard to find that level of care, to find people, individuals who are willing to do that for others, to go out of their way to ensure that other people are okay. And there's plenty of people who do that, but for some reason, it's harder to find than you'd think. And I hope that there are people like that in your life, and if there aren't, perhaps I wonder if you could find people who are willing to do what is needed to keep you safe, who don't just say they will, but who put in the work, the effort, because those are people worth keeping in your life. They are the relationships that you want to build. Because without that, you can't be that kind of person without it draining everything from you. Kindness is always best when it is reciprocal. No, it doesn't have to be, of course. You can be kind without any expectation of a return, but when the return happens, it's a nice thing, to be sure. The move-in day is soon. I am nervous, but excited. I hope it all goes well. It should. Everything about this feels right, even though the situation that put me in this place was not one that I'd wish on anyone, was not one. The craziest thing about it is they were acting the next day as if nothing had happened. as if this were just par for the course. And I don't know what Airbnb is doing. I contacted them, the support, to see if they would look into things. I don't know what they could do. I didn't call the police. That would have put myself and her in more danger. Classically, in situations like this, the police end up not doing anything and the victim ends up siding with the perpetrator, which really sucks, honestly. I didn't want to escalate things further and make either of us more unsafe. And so I considered calling the police after I left. But with what evidence? I was not recording anything at the time, and I don't think that's even legally permissible here in New Zealand. So I contacted Airbnb and they are looking into it. I am, of course, still out for my time there in terms of money. Monetarily, I think it works out to be around 7 days that I stayed there, and yet I paid for an entire month. I managed to get the other 2 back at least. And the place I'm going to be staying is cheaper, which will help offset that, but I don't think I'll be traveling out of Wellington to go on any adventures. That budget is gone, which is fine. I can simply focus on the local area and focus on building, creating videos, and working with others to make cool things. And I'll get more into that when it becomes appropriate to do so, but do know there are a number of other projects in the pipeline beyond just the channel that I'm excited about and that I wanted to be working on this entire week. I wonder, are you still listening, oh dreamer mine? Are you still considering the things that I'm saying? Or have you found yourself so thoroughly and fully asleep that every word I say is simply a gentle reminder that rest comes easily? So quietly does your mind wander into sleep as you listen, as you relax, as you drop for me. Go deep and sleep. And there's more to talk about, of course. It's not all bad. There's good things too. I've met some interesting people. I've started playing Super Smash Brothers and other fighting games again, going to the local scene here. It's been a fun time. I am not good at fighting games, not even a little bit, but I put in the work and I got better. And that was kind of the point. And I let it get away from me when I competed years ago that I needed to be the best. That losing was the same as dying. It was not an option, really. And yet, when I retired from fighting games from Smash, I ended up deciding to play chess as a retirement game. And you might know this if you've been following the channel for a while, but I quite like chess. I promised myself that I wouldn't play in any tournaments, that I'd simply learn and enjoy the game for what it is. But, of course, naturally, I ended up playing in a few, and wouldn't you know it, I was having the same problem that I did when I played Smash. But I learned that losing doesn't have to be the end of the world. And the way that I learned that was by understanding where that came from, by doing the shadow work of delving deep into myself and feeling where that idea originated from. And I have a video on the channel that helps you achieve similar results. It's not quite as robust or complete of a system as what I went through in a much more deliberate and manual fashion, but it's still effective for what it is. The system that I went through ensured that I was able to lose, and it was okay. And I'm finding that losing at Smash and losing at fighting games in general, because now I'm playing more than just Smash. I'm giving Rivals 2 a go and being terribly, terribly bad at Melee. But that's okay. I don't have to be good at fighting games to be worth something. You don't have to be good at anything to be worth something, to be worthy of attention and consideration and happiness. There is no deed that you need to do. Inherently, you are worthy. Inherently, understand that you deserve happiness, that you deserve comfort and safety, just because you're you. And that's a really trite thing to say, or at least it seems like it would be one of those things that you hear people talk about or say, and it doesn't really have any meaning attached. But I assure you, once you understand why it feels good to know that you're safe, to know that your efforts, no matter what they are appreciated. If you've ever been someone who speaks to yourself in a criticizing manner, if you've ever been someone who always strives to a fault, to become better, to the point of bringing yourself into an unsustainable state of trying far too hard, then knowing that you're good enough as you are, knowing that you can simply relax, is itself a reprieve from worry, a reprieve from concern. And I wonder if you can let go of all the things that worry you, that concern you. And I wonder if by doing so, you can begin to forget the things that don't matter right now, to focus only on the things that do. And the only thing that matters right now is the only thing that ever truly matters. And that's your safety. That's the understanding that you are safe right now. You are secure right now. And you can rest right now. You've done so well. You've listened so intently. You can let go. I'll save the rest for another day. For now, know that I'm going to be okay. The people who are looking out for me are truly wonderful people. And I'm so glad that they are in my life. And I want you to know you're going to be okay too. You're going to get through this. And right now, your job is just to rest and to let go. And I know you can do that. I know that you can sleep deep and drop for me. Drop for you. Oh, dreamer mine, I hope that your rest brings with it dreams of new possibilities, of things that you desire and things that you deserve, and I hope that you sleep well.